When you hear the word musician, what comes to mind? The roar of a crowd, glimmering lights. Unfortunately, the average musician's story is riddled with strife. And a big part of this comes from the numbers in the industry, right? 17.2 million. That's the number of streams needed to earn the minimum living wage. And guess how many artists on Spotify make that? 0.2%. This is data taken directly from Spotify's Loud and Clear. Being a musician is heartbreaking, it's difficult, and a part of the reason why is because of the ownership problem. Let's take a closer look. Historically, musicians have always had to sell ownership of their music to record labels to even access a career in music. And this means that record labels have decision-making control when it comes to how that piece of music is distributed and monetized. And this has consequences even for some of the biggest names in the industry, like Taylor Swift, who recently fought a long and hard battle to regain the control over the rights to her music. Because her music rights were sold to somebody against her wishes, and guess who pocketed the lion's share of the profits? Not Taylor Swift. This ownership problem means that there has never been a direct channel that bridges musicians and music licensees. The music licensing ecosystem is complicated, but let's break it down. In the middle, you have your middlemen, like record labels, publishing companies. Musicians sell ownership to these middlemen just to even access music licensing as an income source. And then music licensees, so people looking to license music for use in games, movies, films, they have to buy licenses, but do so on the terms of the record label. This makes the entire process more time-consuming and expensive. And then you have ASCAP and BMI. They kind of help pay royalties out for all these different licensing use cases. And we'll speak a bit more about how the platform interacts with this party. This is a fragmented system, and this is what creates the data problem in the music industry. Did you know that every year, $500 million of royalties, black box royalties, just sit and accrue in an investment account? This is money that should be going to starving artists, but it's not getting there because the people in the industry that pay out royalties don't have the information to do so. And unclear copyright structures have devastating consequences even for some of the most established platforms in the industry, like Spotify, where they were recently sued for $1.6 billion because the terms of their license was not clearly recorded or even discussed. This is a broken industry, and everyone but the middlemen seems to be suffering. How do we fix this? Enter BeatNami. We are building an elegant solution that directly bridges musicians to businesses and projects that need to license music. Our two flagship products, the BeatNami Marketplace and Atlantis, are uniquely positioned to target the ownership problem and the data problem. Let's take a closer look. The BeatNami Marketplace facilitates this new kind of licensing, where musicians directly speak to music licensees and ASCAP and BMI directly query the blockchain to figure out who to pay royalties to. This leads to cheaper licenses and a faster turnaround time and a lower turnaround time. These are sneak peeks of our marketplace. We're happy to go into more detail later down the line. Enter Atlantis. This is the second part of BeatNami that tackles the data problem. This has two components. First, Atlantis Pro, an advanced analytics on trends, pricing, and market data, and a powerful recommendation engine. This helps scout new artists and also help music supervisors find music licenses quickly for the different projects that they're working on. And then we have Atlantis Enterprise, which allows Spotify, record labels, and distributors to create, store, and query structured copyright and royalty data reliably from the blockchain. This is the part that directly tackles the data problem. These two products allow us to sit between these two rapidly expanding industries, the music licensing industry, which generated over $4 billion in revenue in 2020, and the NFT market, which is projected to grow to $97.6 billion. In terms of traction, we have about 50 plus customer discovery interviews with people ranging from gaming companies, record labels, independent artists. We have 30 musicians signed up for beta testing. We have 10 plus Web3 companies that are looking to license music with us, and we've also done a few artist case studies. Now that we've introduced the mission and the vision, here's our plan to make this happen. Our beachhead market, independent musicians, electronic music, and R&B. These are the most common sync licensing genres, and independent artists are the biggest adopters of NFTs. In terms of the music licensees, we're going to be looking for music supervisors from gaming projects in GameFi and metaverse and blockchain companies. Two reasons: blockchain native companies are comfortable transacting with NFTs, and GameFi and metaverse, well, these are projects that have music as a very central part of the experience. And because these are an emerging market, as more games are created, as more metaverse projects are created, there is a need for music licensing. In terms of our competition, we can split it up into two parts. The first four-column, OpenSea to Dequency, these are Web3-focused blockchain companies that are looking to provide services in music. The problem, music licensing is underserved, and other features such as music copyright data and resale royalty splits are not implemented. And then the last two, Epidemic Sound and MusicBed, these are traditional Web2 companies that are helping to do music licensing. They're looking at blockchain solutions, but here's the catch. They take up to 40 to 50% of the musician's revenue, and musicians have to obey a contract that's created by Epidemic Sound and MusicBed. This means musicians do not actually have full control, visibility, and freedom over how their music is licensed. In terms of our business model, we have two pillars. Firstly, the functional NFT marketplace, where we'll be taking 10% of the initial sales of any licenses and 2.5% of secondary sales, so when licenses are traded. And then we have our data platform, Atlantis Pro, which is a subscription model of $29, and Atlantis Enterprise, a pay-as-you-go credits API model. In terms of our cost breakdown, they're mainly in three buckets. Product development, where right now we're focusing on building out the MVP. It's around 80 to 90% done. We're looking to integrate the backend with our smart contracts. We'll be looking at product iteration, so working on the UI UX to provide a seamless experience for both music licensors and musicians, hosting and storage, and then marketing and partnerships. We'll be building a core team to establish partnerships with key blockchains, musicians, and reach a bigger audience. Our legal setup, validation of our legal documents, contracts, and licensing agreements. That's probably going to be the most expensive part of this cost breakdown. And then here's the team that's making it happen. There's 10 of us. We have experience over music, product development, and software development, and blockchain engineering. In terms of our early hires, we're going to be looking at IP lawyers to cover legal gaps in our team. We're going to also get A&R reps, so music scouts, to help onboard musicians, grow our catalog, and build BeatNami's presence in the industry. This is BeatNami. Let's rewrite the musician story. Thank you.